Welcome back everybody, it's DestinysJesus here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 8 of the most broken spots as well as a secret strategy you can use to go ahead and get the most broken loot so you can go ahead and get your first earnings. Each one of these spots is going to really help you in terms of getting game-winning loot as well as the potential to make $100. Of course, all of these spots I'm going to be showing are tried and tested by masterclass users who use them to get their first earnings, so that I can show you that I'm not just waffling on about some random spot. All of these spots work and are going to help you get your first earnings. Also, I'd like to apologize for the lack of videos. I've been extremely sick. I've lost like 6 kilos for not being able to eat. I'm finally feeling a little bit better, so we're getting a video out for you guys. So let's get straight into it. All right, first things first, in my opinion, the most broken drop spot for getting earnings is going to be Lavish Lair. From all the players that I checked out, this seemed to be the most common drop spot. 3 different players out of the sort of 15 that I checked landed at Lavish Lair. And what I'd recommend doing is landing at this top left-hand side of the tower. It's just going to allow you high ground over all the other players below you, and you can very quickly loot up as well as just be sectioned off from the other players. You loot up the top hand side, everybody else is looting below you and fighting below you. It allows you to third party downwards. The key thing is, as you go to fight for the bot, like all these other players did, is try not to be the first one instigating the bot. That's just going to mean that you get the bot aggro, means you're going to waste ammo, means you're going to get shot at by other players and snuck up on, as well as give you the really loud bot music. Instead, what I'd recommend doing is going ahead and taking your time as you push over towards the bot. Make sure you have a massive loot advantage. You pay attention to the bot's HP and you try to third party at a crucial time that's going to allow you to go ahead and grab the bot. From there, you're going to get the most broken mythic in my opinion, which is the auto frenzy shotgun. Insanely good late game for getting refreshes as well as box diving, as long as you have the playstyle for it. If you're a control player, it's absolutely perfect, as well as you get that medallion, which means that you have a HP advantage over everybody throughout the mid game, and you can basically just run bigs and med kits and set yourself up perfectly for winning games. You guys don't need to be landing at a mythic POI to go ahead and get earnings. However, it really does help. You basically have a massive game-winning advantage in terms of having a way better shotgun, as well as that constant medallion healing effect compared to other players. If you're confident of fighting like these 3 players that got their first earnings, as well as to chain together multiple earnings in these first few cash cups of the season, I'd highly recommend landing at these spots because of how much that advantage gives you over the other 99 players in the lobby. Now, moving into some slightly safer spots that don't involve fighting for the mythic, but it's still going to give you very good loot. This first one is a little bit riskier since there's more chance of getting contested as well as fought. What you want to go ahead and do is land either on the top main building right here or land on this orange container, depending which one is closest, and very quickly scout if you're contested or if there's a player up to your north. From there, you can very quickly get cap metal. It's actually faster to farm the actual metal stacks around rather than the fences, as well as loot up all of the chests that are inside this building, as well as the floor spawns that are around. From there, what you want to go ahead and do as soon as you get cap metal is come up towards this forecast tower and claim all of the surrounding space. You basically want to build a box like this out of metal, and this is going to encompass all of the bot spawns. As you can see right here, this is all of the potential spawns, and this is the only forecast tower on the map that's 100% spawn rate. So you're guaranteed to get forecast if you build this metal box around this tower, as well as you don't get pressured and fall as the bot spawns. The red marker right there is where the key card's going to go, and you just need to box up all these potential bot spawns. You're going to spawn at the bot in your box, you can kill them, and then very easily go ahead and play for the rest of your game. The key thing is, after doing this, your mats are going to be fairly shambled, so you're going to have to fight for your cash as well. You're going to have that forecast advantage. It's going to allow you to easily predict where your cash is going to go. You can farm up wooden brick all around the map, and you can even just double back down over this way to go ahead and actually recap up your metal and get stacked the rest of the game. This is one of the best drops if you don't want to go for mythics, and it's going to guarantee you 100% forecast, as well as guarantee you that bot, so you can get it every single game. Now, moving on to some more uncontested spots. If you guys aren't too confident of fighting off spawn, I'd highly recommend landing at these spots. They're going to offer you a lot more safety in terms of not dying off spawn at all in finals, and they're very easy to win off spawn if you just know how to drop for them. First is going to be the spot right here that no master used, I think, to earn 5 times in a row in solo cash cup, which is absolutely ridiculous. And what you want to go ahead and do is land directly on this cabin. You get 4 chests straight away, and then quickly loot up these back chests. You can go ahead and save any big pots that you get, since there's barrels next to here, so just use minis and save bigs. And then from there, what you want to go ahead and do is carry EMP grenades to very quickly get all of the fish in this area. You can very easily get loads of stacks of floppers, so you can play for that heal off later on, which is obviously so important to winning games. And also very nicely is there's cooler boxes in this area that you can very easily get. Because you're in the snow biome, you can easily get cap wood and brick within a couple minutes of landing, so you don't have to worry about having a map disadvantage in any types of fights that you get into. And then you want to follow this path, rotating up to the north, getting even more coolers as well as more free chests that nobody's going to be grabbing. And you can come up here and rotate into this area here for metal. Now you have the option to go ahead and actually try to fight for the forecast tower when it spawns. However, normally you're not going to get that, and you're going to be in an extremely stacked position in terms of having lots of extra whites from floppers, as well as a good loadout from all those extra chests that you can get for free uncontested. Next, this spot is absolutely broken. If you just want to land somewhere that's not going to be too contested, but it's going to still give you cap mats, really easy mid-game rotations, as well as absolutely godly loot from how many chests there are in this area. What you want to do is land at this little underground base right here that is between Lavish Lair and Rebel's Roost. What you want to go ahead and do is loot up very quickly. You can easily get cat metal from this area off spawn, and you're going to get a decent amount of loot from that, as well as there's barrels that you can go ahead and use to save big shields. From there, you want to come over this way, grab extra wooden brick on the way, get 2 more chests, and then rotate down over here and get even more barrels from this secondary area. From there, you can basically decide what you want to go ahead and do. What I would recommend doing, given the current meta of heal off, is to go over this way and get all of the fishing done right here. You can either go and just use a fishing rod or use EMP grenades to very quickly fish up this area, get an extra stack of floppers that you can use later on in the game to either get refreshers or to go ahead and play heal off with. From there, you're going to be cap mats. Mid-game positioning is going to be absolutely perfect. You can easily get your cash, and you can also sometimes even push into Lavish depending on the timing to try to get that medallion. Now, another very good landing spot that you can do this season is landing directly on the train. The key thing is to make sure, of course, you've got a good drop, and you need to understand the timing of when the train leaves, so you're not just left stuck in the open. Basically, the train is going to go ahead and leave very quickly off spawn, so you need to make sure that the bus is decent for it, and you can go ahead and land straight on the train. From there, you're going to quickly loot up the train, make sure you're not getting landed on late, and you want to follow the train around up till this point right here. At this point, you're going to go ahead and hop off, get a load of extra mats, as you can see, get extra barrels, come down here, get these extra chests outside of Snooty, and you're going to push in third-party Snooty. Because, of course, this is the timing where people are about to be done looting up Snooty, so you're going to get a really nice window where you're going to catch multiple people perhaps fighting in this building, and you can push in with a loot advantage, a mat advantage normally, from quickly grabbing these trees from outside, and you'll be able to wipe the players fighting at Snooty, get that mythic shotgun, as well as get the medallion. Next, this is one of the best safe drops that you can do that's going to give you a really high % chance of getting a mythic as well as a medallion. Land over here on this glacier right here below Grand Glacier. So what you want to go ahead and do is land directly on these barrels as well as this chest. Quickly loot up this front side. You can quite easily get loads of brick from all of the big bricks that spawn in this area, and then come down here and get even more barrels. This allows you to save all of your shield as well as get an insane loadout. So you can see this player that got their first earnings did, and then you want to go ahead and push straight up to the north, get loads more brick as you push in. You can claim these front side chests that nobody really gets on Grand Glacier, and then from there you want to sneak into the main building, and you're going to catch basically a perfect timing as the other players are starting to fight. They're starting to loot up, they're starting to try to claim the bot. Maybe you can push in with an insane loot advantage, a massive mat advantage as well, and you can quite easily wipe the other players like Craggy does, and then go ahead and take out the bot and get that mythic AR. From there, just take your time in Storm. You don't really need to go for your cash at all, and you're going to be insanely stacked for the rest of the game. Just make sure you come out with medkits so you can play for that heal off later on. Alright, just quickly, if you guys need a drop map for any spot on the map, they are available on my website down below. They're only $9.99, and you can basically have guaranteed perfect drops for anywhere that you choose or any spot in this video. You can also go ahead and get the drop masters, so you get a drop map included with that for free, as well as a load of videos on winning our spawn, or you can go ahead and get the masterclass unlimited bundle, which is actually going away end of year. So it's the last chance that you guys can get to get the bundle, and of course you get a free drop map included within that as well. Another really good strat you can do to get your first earnings is landing on one of these lower tier mythic PIs. Instead of going for the major ones like Lavish Lair, that's going to be super contested, about 5 or 6 plus people every single game, instead try to land somewhere such as Fencing Fields, which is what this player who got their first earnings. What you want to do is land on this back balcony and very quickly cut off other players inside the main building. From there, what he does is push down to the south, cuts off another player so he's able to get a free kill, as well as get even more loot and mats for himself, and then re-engages as the other players start fighting for the bot. The key thing is, because this bot fight takes directly inside the building, you need to make sure your box fighting and movement is on point, as well as you're confident in fighting. I'd really recommend all of these spots you practice it as much as possible in ranked and solo ranked, or even off-spawn custom ranked versus other decent players before you hop into a tournament and you start fighting lots of other players. Again, this spot isn't going to get contested by too many people, and you've got to remember, with the new ELO matchmaking with around 11k people getting into these cups, you're not going to be in a very good lobby, and you can very easily wipe out players and get that free medallion as well as that free mythic from these spots. Now the last strat that you can actually do to get a medallion, if you don't want to land directly on a really big POI, you're worried about dying or spawn in finals, is to go ahead and scout drop. So how you do this is you figure out where the bus is pulling. So let's say you go ahead and draw the bus marker. So let's say we'll draw it like this. And then you want to watch as people jump outside the bus. So you want to figure out when would people be dropping for Snooty, when would people dropping for fencing, and when would people dropping for lavish, and then look when they're going to be jumping out the bus. So for lavish, it's basically going to be around here. People be dropping. You want to look and double check that, and then you can go ahead and figure out how many people are going for a mythic POI. Is it going to be 2 overconned? Is it going to be 1 or 2 people? And you can actually do this in a finals, because remember it's 100 random players, and be able to go ahead and get a mythic POI for free. I've seen people do this where they go for Grand Glacier and it's a late bus just like that, and they're able to get the mythic POI completely to themselves and be uncon. And I also saw somebody do this with a slightly different bus. As you can see here, the bus was pulling somewhat like this, and they went ahead and jumped, and they were able to get the entirety of Snooty and the Peter Griffin mythic completely to themselves. Again, don't rely on this strategy in finals, but if you scout drop a little bit as you're going ahead and going to a normal spot, you can easily find a mythic POI on con if you know how to scout drop correctly and you practice it a little bit. Now, our last spot in this video is going to be absolutely perfect if you're a very passive player and you just want to have a good endgame setup, and because of course this season is going to heal off, this is absolutely perfect. What you do is land down here at this little hut. It's basically never contested. You can very easily loot it up. There's a decent amount of floor spawns inside of it that you can go ahead and grab, so you're going to have a decent loadout. I'd also recommend scouting out, checking if this spot over here or these back buildings are contested or not, since you can very easily get those for extra loot. However, if they are contested, instead follow this path. Come over towards this building. You can check if even more floor spawns and potentially get some upgrades to your weapons, and then from there use the launch pad right there and come over and go ahead and loot up this back island. This is going to allow you to very easily get cat brick and wood, and from there you want to go ahead and fish. This is the meta this season, is to go ahead and get as many whites as possible in your loadout, just like this player does. They get a perfect loadout for winning the game, and they were able to use that to get their first earnings. This season, guys, it really is easy to get your first earnings because of how open the qualification system is, as well as how the final games are. So I wish you the best of luck using these spots or just playing the games in general for getting your first earnings, and good luck for getting your earnings before Christmas.